Hello there everyone, this is Phantom Duels here, and today I'm going to be doing What if Deku was hated by 1A and 1B, but were sent to the seraph of the end? So, it's been a while since I last recorded, and I'm going to be recording this one, and then you guys are going to have to give me all the way until Friday if you guys are going to, if you guys are going to want to see the next part of this one, because I'm going to be working on the storyline for the next part, and then I'm going to be releasing the after part two of this one, I'm gonna release the first part of a what if I see in the comments that people are interested in or want to hear. I already posted in the community tab, showing what if I would post if people chose this one, and I was interested to see what if people would want me to post. So if you guys are interested in voting on one or telling me one you would like me to do, go to the community tab and you will see it. We start the what if so we start the story during a conversation with All Might and Deku, where we see a Deku looking down at his feet with an emotionless face, where he wonders why would his teacher ask him this. All Might saw this and explained that he doesn't see any process in the Deku with his quirk, one for all. As Deku heard this and understood, as he grabbed a piece of his hair which dragged him into his mindscape, where Deku heard these things. I guess it's goodbye, one for all users. It was fun while it lasted, but it's time for me to watch this kid. As Deku saw a red smile which turned around and looked at him and said, "It's not your time to meet me," which brought him back to the real world. To the point where All Might grabbed the hair and left Izuku going back to the event where 1A and 1B were holding together in the gym, where it was only Aizawa and All Might with both classes. As Deku walked in the classes he was getting stared at by a few people, but he didn't really care. But before anything could happen, everyone in the event was brought to a platform in a realm that no human or god should be in. But they were in front of the creator. As Aizawa and All Might saw him and asked, "What are we doing here?" All Might told everyone to calm down as everyone was quiet because All Might knew this guy was somehow more powerful than he would want to explain to everyone. As the creator was going to say something, the moment the creator spoke, everyone who didn't listen to All Might was brought to their knees to shut them up. As the creator said, "Well, the world has chosen a large group to help this world," smiling at the group who was wondering what does he mean. As the creator said, "I will grant all of you a wish. But the wish is only going to be given to you once you reach the world you're going to be sent to." As the creator nodded first, it was Minna, as she asked the creator to give her a human look and to keep her abilities. As the creator nodded and did that, then the rest did the same until Bakugo. He wished to have the strongest abilities in the world. They were going to be sent to as the creator gave him a blade and a mark on his hand. But the creator said, "You will only be able to control flames as you at your own will." The blade has a demon with more abilities. Aizawa just wished to be able to cancel everything in that world with his current abilities. The creator granted him that wish. All Might just wished to be back in his prime, no wounds, no anything, as the creator granted him that. But then it was Izuku. No one could hear what he wanted it to ask for because of how they were talking about their new looks and their new abilities. But Izuku wished to be something something the rest smile told him to be, and that is to wish for it to be a hybrid. As the creator said, "Hybrid of what kind?" As Izuku said, "How many races and forbidden races are there?" There are, as the creator said, there are three known races and one called seraph. The creator said to Izuku. Izuku said, "I want to be all four in one." As the creator just agreed and snapped. As Izuku he became basically the guy you see on the screen. He doesn't have the red eyes. He's gonna get the red eye after he meets a certain person. But he got the black hair and his body changed to leaner, looking like looking like I said on the guy in the thumbnail, as he got a blade that looks like Virgil's blade, Yamato. As he smiled at the blade, place and placing it on his side, um as the creator just brought them into a world that oh no, sorry. As the creator just thought, he brought a monster into the world. He will choose the fate of it. As the creator was about to send them away, but before he could send one A and one B to the Moon Demon Company, where he wanted them to go. But Izuku's fate was changed, where he was dropped in the middle of a battlefield, but nothing was happening. But then Izuku saw that he wasn't with the group anymore, as he heard a voice laughing in his head, as Izuku went into a sleeping form floating in the sky. He was dragged into his mindscape in front of the Red Smile, who formed the shape of Izuku and said, Hello, it took you long to meet me, Izuku Midoriya. Izuku then asked, Who are you? I am, let's call, as the Red Smile said, let's call me the End. And as the Izuku said, What do you mean the End? Because of your wish, I became the End, and I will train you to become the strongest in this world. Izuku was confused, but after hearing what the End had to say, he was going to agree, but then the End said, There's one thing you have to agree with. You have to fuse with me at the end of the training. Deal? As Izuku thought about it and agreed, a few minutes passed after agreeing with the End. The End told him in his mind that he would be inside of Yamato, his blade. As Izuku understood, and he woke up a few hours later, he saw that there was ten of the horsemen of the Acropolis. They attacked Izuku as Izuku just dodged every attack with no problem. Looking at the monsters as Izuku grabbed Yamato and said the name of his one ability he learned from his mindscape. As he said, the End, destroying the 10 monsters. When Izuku did this, he was sitting on top of the bodies of one of the horsemen of the Acropolis. Then a group of people driving a vehicle saw him and stopped as they saw Izuku on top of the on top of one of the horsemen of the Acropolis, which they saw Izuku and the horsemen of the Acropolis in one attack. But before, let's go to where 1A and 1B arrive in front of the Moon Demon Company. Because in a flashing light, as the guards of the Moon Demon Company looked and asked them, "Who are they?" As Aizawa said, "We're here to help fight against the vampires." As the leaders of the Moon Demon Company were brought out to speak to Aizawa and All Might, which got All Might and Aizawa to become leaders of groups which were named A and B. Uh, and they were sent to fight in the front lines with Gorin, who was waiting for all their groups to reach it. Then we go back to Izuku, who we see him staring at the group of people as the leader spoke. Name was Shinoa. Shinoa spoke, saying, "Who are you?" As Aizawa agrees to train with the End. No, not Aizawa. As Izuku agreed to the question and said, "My name is Izuku," and his eyes turned red, making Shinoa think he's a vampire. As Izuku jumped off the pile of dead, a pile of dead monsters, landing right in front of Shinoa. As as the rest of the group, sorry about that, I went quiet. Uh, as the rest of the group tried to do something, but Shinoa stopped Izuku. Then said, "I'm." But Shinoa stopped them. Izuku then said, "I'm Izuku. But my but for now call me Deku." Shinoa then asked, "Okay, Deku, how do you end those horsemen in one attack?" Deku then said, "Oh, I just wanted to test my demon's ability, but I put too much power in it." Shinoa looked at Shinoa looked at the fight and saw a slash on the ground and looked like a never-ending hole. As Isuku asked, "Why are you guys here?" Shinoa then said, "We were on our way to kill those monsters, but you did the job for us." Giving Isuku a nervous smile as Isuku said, "Oh, okay then. I'll keep moving on then." As Isuku was going to move until a girl being attacked by the horsemen of the Acropolis was coming towards him. Then you, who was the main character of Seraph at the end, was going to move and save her. But then Isuku just said, "Okay, Yamato, kill that thing." Everyone was confused about what they heard until Deku's blade started to glow and a demon shave killed the monster. But after that happened, Isuku's blade went back into Yamato. Then Shinoa asked Deku, "Do you mind coming with us?" Isuku was going to speak until the end said, "Follow her, kid. We would we would get a lot of training in. After all, you're only using your vampire side and human. The other two are not unlocked yet. So follow her." But then Deku listened to him and said, "Okay, I'll come with you, people." Then Shinoa said, "My name is Shinoa, and this is my squad, formed by the Moon Demon Company." As Izuku just nodded, getting this information in his head. "You spoke. You're not the strongest here, just because you did that, got it?" Then Izuku said, "Okay," not really caring, as everyone got in the car that they came in. But Isuku said, "No, I'll be on top of the car." After a few, Deku was on top of the car. Then the car started to move, going to the location where Goran was waiting for them. They all got there in a few hours, arriving right with all the soldiers were there as Goran saw Deku and asked Shinoa, "Who is he?" Well, it took her a little to answer him, saying, "Just test him and you'll see who he is." As Goran attacked him, Izuku stopped Goran's blade with his hand, but then grabbing Goran and sending him flying, but Izuku held back, which meant Goran could land on his feet. But then Goran let out his blade ability, which Izuku said Yamato eat that attack. This, as a demon came out of the blade and ate the attack, as Goran said, "Oh man, who the hell's this kid?" in his head. As Shinoa's sister, who was turned into Goran's demon, said, "You might want to keep an eye on him, Goran." As he looked at Shinoa and said, "You guys are alright. And you guys are already in Shinshuku, so he will be a part of your team until the mission is over." As Shinoa agreed and told that to Izuku. But Goran was wondering if he is a part of those people with random powers. He kept quiet about it. As we continue to see Goran overlooking the battlefield from the roof of a tall building, he comments that the vampires are really attacking. He looks through a scope for the enemy commander and spots Michaela and Ferd. Ferd returns his gaze, alarming Goran that he was sensed from such a distance. He warns Suiri, and a hooded vampire moves to attack her from behind. Mito interferes, punching the vampire and turning him into dust with one strike. Goran scolds Mito for being late as she scolds him in return for ordering her to come there on short notice. Shiruga, oh no, Shikumi and Goji join them. Shiragi informs Goran that U Squad released the humans and has arrived in Shinjuku. As Goran tells them, Shinoa Squad can join the war. Mentions the fighting on the battlefield is the best way to improve. As he says that the vampire commander isn't at the Fifth Street, Interaction says that killing him may change something, but Izuku hearing this was interested about what he heard from Goran. But then Izuku's vampire and demon hearing activated, making him hear this from Ferret, mentioning that someone is watching them. He asks Mika, what does he think? What does he think of Tokyo? It feels weird, right? Mika quietly watches as a vampire drinks the blood of a human soldier below. He makes painful expressions, which made Izuku wonder why wouldn't that vampire drink blood? But Izuku thought were interrupted by Shinoa telling them that they are too weak to be useful on the front line, introducing them to dopings. Mitsuba says this is their state of the line training right now. She informs them that these pills will increase synchronism with their demons. One pill will increase them by 1.5, two pills by 1.8, and three pills will rupture their internal organs. She says even two pills will cause several damage and make them die from shock. So normally only only take one. Mitsuba says each pill lasts 15 minutes, but then leaves the user completely vulnerable after the time is up. But then Isuku says, "You don't know how strong I am, so you can't be saying I'm weak." As Mitsuba says, "Shut it, kid." But then Isuku glances at her, releasing bloodlust, which then makes them all see their worst fear for a second until he stops and just agrees to take the pill, which gives the same pill as you. Where we see the demon inside of Isuku, who knew he was going to release something powerful the moment he took that pill. Since he sees Isuku only has two-fourths of his power unlocked, so he wouldn't be able to fight with some of the vampire commanders, or even the queen of it right now, or even a seraph. He tries if he tries, but then it's different. It's a different story, said the demon. As we go back to the real world, 15 minutes passes until Isuku heard missiles suddenly fire at their vehicle, causing them to flip over. They manage to escape to the ground outside, and the helicopter turns around to attack them. They dodge the bullets and duck for shelter. You notice Commander Nagi is unconscious and trapped in the driver's seat. He goes to rescue Nagi, and Isuku stops Shinoa from following you because he was going to help you rescue Nagi. They free Nagi while Isuku defends him while the others defend themselves. Yuji takes the opportunity to shoot the helicopter. The helicopter launches three more missiles before being destroyed. The missiles destroy the ground beneath Isuku. Shinoa and you, they fall into the sub. Shinoa, Isuku, and you fall into the subway below. Isuku wakes up both of his teammates, which then Shinoa and you ask, where is he? Where is Nagi? Commander Nagi, as Isuku carrying the man on his shoulders, asks Shinoa, "Is there a place to help him?" She says there should be a temporary base above ground where he could receive treatment. Kimisuke's voice echoes from the other side of the rumble. He is with Mitsuba, and Shoji, Yuji. Yuji, let's say. Shinoa orders them to go ahead, and Yu says that they will meet them at the defense line, which then Isuku says, "Lead the way, leader," talking to Shinoa. As Shinoa nods and moves, while the others on the other side wall keep moving to their locations. Above ground, Miko sees an explosion. A vampire arms falls to his feet, becoming ash. He looks up to see Goran standing amidst the smoke and rain. Goran faces Mika and draws his sword. Goran grumbles about not killing the vampire commander with his last attack. As soon Ferris straight up to Mika and mentions how that single attack killed many vampires. Ferris states that humans are going to send an elite soldiers of the Vampire Extermination Unit and the Moon Demon Company their way. Ferret asked the vampire soldier if they were ready to exterminate low-life humans. Goran's squad has arrived, along with numbers of human soldiers to match the vampires. Goran asked the vampire if they enjoy all of that blood, informs them that it will be their final supper. Then we go back to Isuku's and Shinoa's. And Isuku, Shinoa, and you, where Isuku sees the outside world is no paradise in this world. Shinoa and you dropped off Corporal Nagi at the medical tent, and Shinoa says that he will live to Isuku, who was glad to see that he's okay. She then tells you and Isuku that Goran orders them to join him as the West Shinjuku Fifth Street intersect ASAP to the fight the vampire main forces. Which then we arrive to the end of the what if. I hope you guys enjoy. This was Phantom Duels here, and goodbye.